grain or beverage, the food is prized by those who eat it for its special taste and its cultural or historical significance. Clean. Everything on the Ark of Taste has the potential to be grown, raised, or produced without harm to the environment. Fair. No commercial or trademark items are allowed onto the Ark of Taste, only foods that anyone may champion, produce, share, or sell. When a new food is onboarded to the Ark of Taste, Slow Food takes a multi-pronged approach to increasing the rare ingredient's visibility. The organization may begin by working directly with producers to identify solvable issues that would increase or sustain production of that food, as well as offering aid through the support of veterinarians and agronomists. Slow Food creates events to generate press for the food, encourages chefs to incorporate the ingredients into their menus, and facilitates access to seeds for farmers and gardeners through companies like the Seed Savers Exchange and Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. In general, the organization facilitates ways for the public to seek out these foods, learn these stories, and purchase and consume them, except when it comes to endangered wild species, which initially may need conservation. The Ark references Noah's Ark, the Old Testament story in which God commanded Noah to build an ark and save 2 of every land animal from the earth-cleansing flood. But it's not a perfect foodie metaphor. The duos that have made it on board are more like the Angus beef and beefsteak tomatoes of the world, foods that are already well-known and successful. In the case of foodways in America, a rising tide has not lifted all boats. Modernization and colonialization have allowed cherished, delicious foods to get washed away in the flood. I had been sorting through Ark entries on their website for weeks when I serendipitously met a rare food face to face. On a beautiful September day in 2018, my mom and I were driving back roads in rural Ohio, heading to a remote farm to pick late-season blackberries. I planned to turn the fruit into blackberry brandy using a recipe I had found in an 1890s manuscript. My mom made a left turn onto Route 511 near Kipton, an abandoned gas station on one corner of the intersection and pastures stretching out on all sides, and my eyes landed on the animals grazing to the left of the road. "That's a Texas Longhorn!" I yelped. The animal was unmistakable. 2 horns branched out horizontally from either side of its head, about 8 feet tip to tip. Always willing to humor me, my mother turned the car around and pulled over at the pasture. I leapt out. The enormous buff-colored animal gazed at me placidly from the other side of the fence, his preposterously huge horns curving gently toward the sky. I had never seen a longhorn in the flesh before and never imagined I would stumble across my first one in Ohio. They are the iconic animal of Texas, after all. Because of the Texan tradition of eating their meat, the longhorn is listed on the Ark of Taste. When the Mexican province of Coachella y Texas was being colonized, Christian missionaries brought cattle with them. But the missions these men founded were often abandoned due to conflict with the locals or disease. The cattle left behind went feral, eventually developing into Texas's first naturalized cattle breed, the Texas Longhorn. Recaptured, they were a favorite of ranchers for their hardiness and were kept primarily for their meat, but also for their leather, tallow, and labor. At the end of the 19th century, instead of being slaughtered locally, cattle began to be shipped to the Midwest slaughterhouses. Longhorns fell out of favor because not only did they not put on weight as quickly as other breeds, but their wide horns did not fit into narrow rail cars and crowded feedlots. The Texas Longhorn is currently listed as critically endangered, meaning only a few thousand registered animals exist worldwide. I left the Longhorn's pasture fence and trudged up a steep driveway, hoping to find someone who could answer my many questions. One of the owners happened to be riding down the drive on a motorbike. He looked confused when he spotted me, a tattooed, blue-haired young woman trudging up his driveway. I flashed my big, toothy smile, introduced myself, and told him I wanted to know more about the Longhorns. "Oh, they're so docile," CJ, the rancher, told me with a grin. "They'll eat an apple out of your hand if you have one. We have 12, all bulls." "Why?" I asked, stunned.